Hey everybody, Regina Andler here, and it is time for Coffee with Regina. And I have my good friend Deborah Smart with me today. And Deborah has some really interesting stuff to share with us today. Deborah, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay. Hi. It's so great to be here, Regina. I am also known as One Smart Lady. I have been in publishing for 24 years. I've been self-employed for 37 years. Every time I think about it, it just blows my mind that I've been able to play in the sandbox and have fun all these years with the different businesses that I've done. I started out as a computer programmer. So I launched a computer consulting business. And then one of my clients noticed that my writing was so, the copywriting I did was so good that they say, you know what, you should write a book. And I said, okay, I have written, but I don't want to go through that publishing process. It just stinks. He says, well, good, start your own business. So I did.
Wow,
The rest is history.
that's amazing. It's like, if you can't find a solution that's already made, go make one for yourself.
There you go.
Is that Yankee ingenuity, or what do we call that?
Can do have it.
The can do, find a way or make a way, right?
Yeah, find a way.
I
Make a
love
way.
that.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about you started the publishing company, and I know you did the One Smart Lady, you used to have a podcast, and you've done all kinds of different things. And I mean, like all over the spectrum.
Yes.
What is the, let me ask, I have a question for you that I didn't, think about in advance until right now. What is your favorite business of all the businesses that you've put together so far?
Ooh. You know what? I think I'm a schizophrenic because I don't have any one favorite. I step into whatever I do in the morning, whatever's on the schedule. That is my favorite thing to do. I start off every morning devotional by writing, and my devotion is writing. I don't kneel and pray. I write and pray. And as I go along with my writing, so writing is really my most favorite thing. The next thing is talking to people. I am a talker. You cannot shut me up once you get me started. So I answered the question. I'll stop now.
I love that. And I love the whole schizophrenic idea because, it's, you just, adapt and go with the flow. And, when it comes to life and that kind of thing, I mean, that's how to do it. I mean, people get so caught up in all of life and all the stuff that's going on, and,
Mhm.
the good, the bad, the ugly, all of the stuff that's happening, they get caught up in it and they don't just go with the flow. You just like pass through stuff. I know you've been through a lot
Yeah.
in your past there, and all stuff in your life. And do you want to share some of the stuff and what's come out of that?
Oof, that's a lot. I am in my seventh decade. So I've lived a long life. Yes, there have been challenges, multiple marriages, divorce, and death, child abuse. But with each challenge, and I use the word as a challenge because I really had to figure out how, and I didn't do it consciously, figure out, sit down and say, okay, how am I going to get through this? I just basically, I'm God centered. So I truly believe, and if anyone out there is God centered, they would know that the Lord leads you if you listen, if you just don't go helter skelter about trying to fix things. And for many years, that's what I did. I tried to fix things up until maybe about 18 years ago. I really embraced prayer. I became a Bible counselor. I've worked with individuals who have challenges in their life, but because of the challenges that I've been through, check off the categories, I've been there. I've been able to help them through. And that really is what I bring to the table when I work with my authors and my clients, is my background of taking a look at the problem and, seeing, well, what in you can you do about it? If you can't, if you're a God-centered person, pray on it. And also look for someone who can step in and help you. Don't try to do it all by yourself.
Yeah, that's a really super good point. So just going back to where you started, it was like you said, like 18 years ago. so what shifted where you just were like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to do something different because what I was doing isn't really serving me and working for me anymore. And I need to kind of pivot and do something different. What
Mhm.
was there an event? Was something happened? You just decided the camel's back was broke. You're done.
Yeah. No, the death of my husband, Donald Carper. He passed in 2003. And we were married almost 20 years. And that was that in that span, that's when I really grew up as a woman, not as a spiritually based woman, but as a woman. We were so totally different. He was, as you can see, I'm African American. I'm a
Mhm.
female. Donald was Polish. He was Catholic, and he was 13 years older than I was. You talk about overcoming challenges. That was a marriage that I actually wrote a book when he passed called Joy Comes Through the Morning. and and it really embraced the fact that the Lord did bring me through. I recognized the Lord did bring me through. That was that aha moment that the
Mm.
Lord did bring me through such a difficult time that most people would have walked away from. But because I was a newbie, really being conscious of how he could help me through in the later years of our marriage, and I actually changed my pronunciation from Deborah to Deborah. And because in the Bible, I forget who it is now. They changed. Oh, Peter. Peter's name was Simon. Changed his name to Peter. So I said, "Dear Lord, you brought me through this so many different challenges over these past 20 years because we knew each other 21, 22 years." I said, "I really want to thank you and dedicate my life to you." So that's when the change began progressively. And then I joined my church, and I really got into understanding scripture and what the Bible is all about. I I spent maybe 5 years in our Bible Institute under my pastor, which was awesome. And I became a certified Bible counselor. So all those things is what brought me to who I am today. And I totally in heart centered, as Terry Levine says, I am totally heart centered in everything that I do.
Yeah, and I love that. It doesn't matter if it's Christian, if it's whatever, if it's you reach out to the universe. It's that knowing that there's something else out there that's a driving
Mhm.
force that once you allow yourself to open up to it, God, whatever, however you individually view it, that really does make a difference. It gives you hope. It gives you something to latch on to help get you through things. And I I really firmly believe that when you do that, you talk about all the good things that start coming in. You wrote the book after Don passed. Joy, the joy
Yes.
in the morning, the joy.
Joy comes through the morning and it's the grieving morning, not the morning when the sun comes up. I was a widow for 4 years, and my joy was meeting my husband, Willie. Really
Ah.
smart, and that's where the smart came from.
So yeah, so it's just your outlook on life, the way you view things. It's not everybody, has a husband pass away and then finds the good in the passage,
Mhm.
that in what happened, and moves on. Some people just tend to stay where they are and stay in the mourning, in the
Mhm.
grief, and
Mhm.
not allow themselves to move forward. Whereas you catapulted forward and and said, you know what, yeah, this is whatever it is, and I have faith that everything is happening for a reason, and I'm going to roll with this and see where it goes next. And it went to Willie.
Yeah. Well, prior to Willie, that May, Don passed in December 2003. That May 2004, I took myself to Bermuda for 7 days. I decided I just wanted to get away from everybody and everything that I knew and decide, do I want to get married again? It was such a hard, and actually, folks, that was my third marriage. I've been married 4 times. That I'm confessing it. Okay. I'm an expert on marriage, what to do and what not to do. But anyway, I took myself to Bermuda for 7 days just to decide if I wanted to do that again. And when I was there by myself, I didn't know anybody, but again, I had a gift of meeting people. And I met this couple at lunch, and he said, "What are you doing here by yourself?" Because everybody was either on their honeymoon or they were renewing their vows or whatever. And I said, "Well, I'm a widow, and I decided to, give myself a break." So he says, "Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you the name of our driver, and he's going to take you around every day." So he did. He gave me the name of the taxi driver that he used. He had commissioned. And Neville every morning picked me up, took me to places that tourists would have never seen. He took me to special places in Bermuda, and I felt really safe. He was a deacon at church, so that was another God wink. And we got to know each other real well. And at dinner, I would, eat by myself, and all the young waiters would make sure I was taken care of. And one night, one of the waiters said, "Mrs. Carper," because my name was Carper then, "Mrs. Carper, I won't be here tomorrow night, but Devin over here is going to make sure you're taken care of." I told him everything that you like. So I said, why wouldn't I want to be in a relationship again?
Yeah,
So
I love
I
that.
came back, and I met Willie the following watch night New Year's Eve service at the church.
Wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing story, and it's a great story of how, when you do open yourself up and say, yeah, I love that term, God wink.
Yeah,
That when you open yourself up and you catch those signs and the stuff that's going on, that you're open and receptive and see the other things coming in, like
yeah.
Willie.
That's it. That's it. And that's all, again, that's all in my book, Joy Comes Through the Morning, because he was definitely my joy. And as you know, he passed this March,
Yeah.
but we had a good 13 years together. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when Willie passed, I think you have something to share with us for something new coming out.
Yes. When he passed, of course, the writer kicked in. That's how I handled my grief, was through my writing. And I decided to write a second in the series. Actually, this is the third in the series. Another author wrote about the death of her child, so that's book 3. But this is book 3 in the series of Joy Comes Through. And so I'm writing Joy Comes Through, excuse me, Life's Interruptions. I don't have a cover to show you for that one right now, but I do have a website that you can visit once we, get off the interview. But Joy Comes Through, Life's Interruptions. It's not just about the death. It's about the life that we had,
Mm.
the life that I had. And it really goes back into all of the different challenges. Some of them I choose not to bring to public, but I will talk about, a lot of the challenges that I believe would help entrepreneurs, especially
Mm.
about being a caregiver to someone who is, needs your help, but you have a business to run. How do you juggle that? I did that for 6 years, and really didn't have to give up my business until last year. And so now I'm back. I built the foundation, and I was telling Regina that I had the foundation. It's like tombstone territory. All the buildings are built, and I'm waiting for the wagon trains to come in.
And so with your revised business that you've got going on, tell us more about that, and tell us what it is that you're doing.
Okay. As I said before, I am definitely someone who wears a lot of hats. And if you follow me on my timeline, you see all the different hats that I have. Someone had asked me how many I have. I probably have close to maybe 100. I don't know. I mean, I've been collecting them, and Willie's been collecting them over the years. So I decided it's time to scale down and focus at a higher level, because I've been working with first-time writers, so really in the trenches, getting their books written and published. But I didn't really help them with the marketing side. So the past 6 years, I've been investing in training programs to teach me social media marketing, and really where I wanted to fit into that, because the internet is so noisy right now. And
Mhm.
I really want to help people focus and hone in on their particular project and not anybody else's. And I can share this real quickly. A year ago, I took a month off. I wanted to take the month off of April to decide what part of my business that I want to do, and then partner with other people. So I wasn't giving up services, but I was bringing people in as a team to complete the whole package of book publishing. So anyway, I did my devotional, and day one, I said, "Dear Lord, what do you want me to do? These are all the things I would like to get accomplished, but what do you want me to do?" He said, "Learn to be still." I mean, it was just as clear as I'm talking to you right now. Learn to be still. Because when I write, it's not up here, it comes through my hand, but I could hear it. Learn to be still. On day two, I heard, learn to focus on now. It means to focus on the present. And in day three was learn to follow the desires of your heart. So those are three principles I want to pass on to everybody. Learn to find a quiet space, a quiet time, something that's going to take you away from all the noise so you can really understand what you're supposed to be doing at this moment. And then focus on that moment and how it's going to be done. And then also make sure when you're doing things, it's what you want to do, not what everybody else says you should be doing.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. This week, our theme out on my Facebook group here, the theme is authenticity, and it's I've been talking about just that. We spend so much time doing what everybody else wants us to do. We don't stop and consider, well, what do we actually want to do? What do I actually want to do? What do you actually want to do? Stop being the person that everybody else wants you to be. Sit and be still,
right?
And let who you truly are inside come through. And yeah, that comes through. It comes through your heart. And before I was listening to, I can't even remember what it was now. I was listening to something or someone recently, and we were talking about, it's kind of like on the heart math kind of thing, where it's stuff comes through your heart before it reaches your heart, before it reaches your mind.
Yes,
And so when you're still, you can't hear that when your mind is all the chattering going on. The monkey mind is happening. And until you're still and present, then and only then can you actually hear what's going on in the heart. And then that's the truth. That's who you really are, what you should be doing. When you say, what should I do? Where am I going? What is my purpose? And you can discover really who you are. I love that. Those are three great pieces that everybody be still, be present, and listen to your heart and what's coming out of that.
And those are the three pillars that I've built this new program of mine on. One Smart Lady Productions is the master of my business. Everything has been morphed into that. The publishing, the computer programming, the communication skills, all of my skills hold that umbrella up. And on the umbrella are the different spokes. So I have a new proprietary program, Smart Publishing Lifestyles, in which I work with the authors and entrepreneurs to really teach authors. You've done all this work to get this book published. You had your book launched. You have these books in a closet or in the basement or in the trunk of your car, where you drive from place to place, hoping somebody's going to stop by your table to purchase your book. So that's why I saw a need to open this program in which I'm going to change how you're thinking about yourself. You are in business, so therefore you need to build tools to help your business grow. So tier one is basically I call them smart by choice, because you come on board with me and you're really, I'm putting together a series of course, training programs and conversations to help you understand the fact that you're not this little person that, I wrote a book and my mother bought it. I'm going to help you sell that book or market that book and build a publishing and marketing platform outside of your circle of family and friends. Tier two is really, that's a smart sojourner. So now you're on the journey with me and you are learning the different tools that you may not have. You may want to learn, or you may not want to. You may want to find somebody else, like a virtual assistant. And we have a number of virtual assistants in our community that can help you, through that process. And also resources. We people who are really good at copywriting for public relations and things of that sort. People that can design your web program, and that's another area that I just got. I'm an ambassador to this new product, and I am so excited. I'm going to be launching that very soon. And then tier 3, which incorporates this platform, is called Smart Phoenix Rising Method.
Ooh.
And that's where I dig deep. We get really dig deep down and dirty to figure out, where do we want to take this wagon train? We are on an adventure to build our own little town. I have smart publishing lifestyles. That's my town. What's the name of your town? So I'm having fun right now developing, and I am the product of my product. So I will be doing videos taking you through the process of what I've done for the past 6 years, and also what I've done recently to really bring it down. Right now it's like all these, you see the bricks, the mortars, the cement, and then all of a sudden this beautiful town rises up from the dust.
I love that. I love the way you describe that. You make it so engaging, and you make it sound like so much fun too. A lot of people, when they think about writing a book, they think about how hard it is, and all of the struggles or whatever, or perceived, right? And so you make it sound like it's this journey, and it's fun, and we're going to build this town, and we're going to do this. I love that. That is a great way. Now, I've published a couple chapters in 3 different books now, and I've got a couple more coming out myself, as one that you know of. and with that in mind, when somebody writes a book, why write a book? What is a book going to do for me and my business? Why is a book important?
Well, a book may not help your business, but a book may help you. A book may help you writing, and it doesn't even have to get to the book level, just pure writing. Writing is such a cathartic, way of getting in tune with what's going on inside of you. I have about 100 composition books dating back to maybe the early turn of the century, 2000.
Wow.
And I have 3 diaries, one dating back to 1969. I have been recently going through, because I'm writing the book, Life Goes Through Life's Interruptions, and I can see what I was like, how I handled the problem, and how I overcame it. That's why you write. Now, whether you want to write it to have it become a book, that's a different discipline. You just write. I have a t-shirt that says, one smart lady says, just write. Just write. And then when you read what you write, then decide, is this valuable information that other people can learn from and help them through whatever problems I've gone through? So really is the why you're writing it. You're writing it for yourself, number one. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're getting the message out that you really believe is valuable when you get to the book writing stage. Just write. Don't worry about the message. Just write about the event and the activity. Then when you read through what you're writing in the process, and I'm going to have a video showing people how to do that. When you read and write and you go through the process, things are going to pop out. And I call it chunking. That's when you build the chunks that belong to the chapters in your book.
So I love that process. And when it comes to the actual writing, what is it that you recommend as far as, should you type that out into a computer? You said you have books. So tell us a little bit more why you should handwrite things out.
Handwriting is amazing. I mean, I type stuff, but it's like everything is engaged. But when you handwrite, and I don't know if everyone is like this, but I don't have thoughts. I guess because I've been doing this since I was 14, it just probably comes from my heart through my hand to the paper. Develop that level of writing. Now, as you're writing, don't edit your writing. If you misspell something, who cares? Nobody's going to read it because you're going to refine it later on. Don't worry about the spelling. Don't worry about anything, just write. If you miss words, you'll go back and correct it, you know, but handwrite it. I truly believe handwriting, anything to start, it's a lot of work, but it's just as much work typing and looking for the right keys and backspacing and all that. That cuts out your creativity.
Exactly. You just hit the nail on the head from a psychological, physiological standpoint. Is that I talk to people all the time about that, is that when you type, you're only using one side of your brain. You're only using that logical side of your brain. And you're basically cutting out the entire creativity side.
Mhm.
I believe that creativity side is the side that's tied into your heart. The logical side is that part of your brain that's going, this is the way it should be. This is the way we're supposed to be doing it.
Mhm.
And, here's the, 1 + 1 = 2, and this is the way it works. Whereas your creativity is tied into that heart center, and when you type, you lose that side of it. And when you handwrite, you're using both sides. And so I love the way you describe how, writing it through the heart into the hand and let it come out. And so it just flows.
Yeah.
And I know that, what other reasons, as a business person, what is another reason why, you'd want to write a book? I know for me, um, I have been told, and since I just started putting some chapters in and I haven't written yet my solo book, um, I hear people were talking about it's all about credibility. It's about, getting people to know who you are. So what are your thoughts on, from a business standpoint, why to write a book?
For anyone who has either been in business for a number of years or just starting out in business, the most important thing in business is not sales. Did she just say that? The most important thing in business is relationships. Okay. And the way people can really get to know you is through your writing. If you tell your story, if you let them know that you've jumped through certain hoops, that, okay, if she can do it and she went through that, I think I can do it too. So that's where it gets to the why. Why are you writing this book and who are you writing it for? I mean, as I said, I have hundreds of composition books with information in it, and I'm gleaming the chunks out and identifying this category, this category, and this category. That's how a business person should go into writing. What are the tools that you're offering? What are the services that you're offering? But most important, they need to get to know who you are and what your background is. So write in as many anthologies as you can. When I I'm in 2 anthologies coming out, one in October and one in January, and I decided that I will be known as Chapter 9. Always a gimmick.
There
So
you go.
I decided that the best way, if people can't remember the fact that, my chapter title, or if I'm in a book, they'll always go directly to Chapter 9.
I love that. I honestly didn't think about that. And so I'm in a couple books. I'm in The Greatest Lessons Learned from Dad, The Greatest Lessons Learned from Mom. And then I have the book on transformation. I have the book on gratitude is going to be coming out in November. And
Awesome.
then, as you know, we're working on Terry's, and
Yeah.
that's going to be coming out. And
No,
so
right.
those are all chapters in books. I'm going to have to start saying, hey, put me at this chapter. I want to be
There you go.
consistently at this chapter. I hadn't thought about that before. And
And the reason why I chose chapter 9 is because I also do numerology, because I'm just a geek. And the number 9 is the number for my birthday, because I was born June 24, 1950, and that adds up to 9 when you do it. And I'm just really attracted to the number 9, because no matter what number you multiply 9 by, it always adds up to 9. So
I,
one times 9 is 9, right? And
yep.
then 2 times 9 is 18. And when you add the 1 and the 8, that's 9. 3 times 9 is 27. 2 and 7 is 9. And just go straight through it. I just get fascinated with numbers.
I love that. I never thought about that before. And I was born 11/18. And so when you look at the astrology, the books with
Mm-hmm.
the numerology and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Apparently my number is 9 as well. So if we're in the same book, we'll have to we'll have to fight over number 9. Well, you know what? We don't have to fight over number 9. You have number 9. You called it. It's all good. I'll take 18.
18. There you go. There you
We have to
go.
make sure we have 18 authors so that you
Now,
could be
now
9, I'll be 18.
you also have to add in the year, not just
Mm.
the month and date, also
Yeah.
the year.
Well, for me, it's 63, which also becomes 9.
There you go. Just checking. Just checking.
So I have 18 and then I have 63. So both of those become 9. And yeah, so I love that idea. And it's when you think about it, it's honestly before I did the first chapter in the book that I did with Brian Wright, which was the greatest lessons learned from Dad. He put a call out to some of us. We actually, I'm involved with he has a publication called Success Profiles magazine, and I write an article for him every month. And so he put a call out to all of the people who write articles and say, hey, I'm going to put this book together. His dad had passed and he wanted to put a book together to honor his dad and put a chapter in. And so he said, anybody else want to put a chapter in about their dad and greatest lessons learned from Dad? And I was like, yeah, I'm in. I was totally a daddy's girl. My dad passed in 2007. I'm in. Whatever this is, I've never written a chapter for a book. And that being said, I went in it thinking, wow, this is going to be so hard. I have no idea what I'm doing. All this stuff. When we finished that, I was like, wow, that was kind of easy.
Yeah.
It was all perception. And I
Yeah.
think when people think about whether they're writing a book, whether they're writing a chapter, there's a perception that, wow, that's really hard. And there's people like you who make the process simple, easy, step by step.
I used to call myself the Mother Teresa of publishing because I was so nice. Hey, I'm a child. I tell people I am not childlike. I am a child. I know how to play in the sandbox.
I love that. I won't forget that one, believe me. So one thing I do want to point out for anybody who's watching this, whether they're watching it live, watching the replay, I want to point out something that you said back when we started, which was you're in your 7th decade.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people out there saying, I'm too old to reinvent myself and do stuff. Thank you for that. Very enthusiastic. And I'm saying, this woman right here, if she can do it, I'm just saying, you are never too old.
Just saying. I also wrote a book called Born to Win, Not Retire. That's an ebook. And 2 years ago, I was trying to decide whether to retire or not. And I did a 90-day challenge as I was doing my devotionals. Every day I was like racking my, brain to pour out all the different things, the pluses and the minuses. And just before my 70th birthday, the Lord said, you were born to win, not retire. So I'm not saying that retiring is negative. That was my message. Okay. I know what my strengths are. Thank God I still have my health. And I have this clarity of mind sometimes. It works when it wants to work, but I just say anybody, if you're even planning to retire or not retire, if you're planning to retire and you're thinking that you want to spend the rest of your life just, kicking back and whatever, that's fine. But put together maybe 10 to 20 hours a month, is it? Yeah. A week. A month, to slowly graduate and then expand it to 20 a week.
There you go.
Okay. So use those 20 hours to figure out what you really want to do. Okay. 20 hours a month. That's a challenge to really figure out what you want to do that will keep you having fun and playing in the sandbox.
Yeah. It's amazing that, I work with a lot of people as well. And I get that all the time. I'm too old to do this. I'm too old to do that. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You can start whenever. And I love what Carolyn said. She's chapter 3 in the book.
Yep. Yep. Carol and I are working on a project together. She's an awesome individual. I've been reading her posts. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And so we are past the half-hour mark right now. And I want to point out to people, if you're not following Deborah Smart on Facebook, you need to follow her because you really have to see the hats. The hats are amazing. This woman, not only has she reinvented herself over and over and over again to become this just amazing force and with such an amazing outlook on life. I don't know that I've ever met somebody in my life that has such a amazingly positive, go with the flow. I trust the system. I trust God. I trust whatever's there. It's just going to work. It's just going to happen. It's going to all happen the way it's supposed to be happening. You just live, breathe, and you are that. And it's amazing to me how many hats you wear and how well you just
well the thing is
navigate.
my hair is real short, so it makes it real easy.
Yeah, I was going to put a hat on, and I'll tell you, with a ponytail, hats kind of just stick up in the back.
I do want to say one thing before we go. Today is the anniversary of my husband Willie's birthday. He would have been 72. And my Facebook name is Smart by Choice, facebook.com/Smart by Choice. And Smart by Choice is a tag that I picked up because Willie kept bragging how he was smart by birth. I said, well, I'm smart by choice. and that morphed into One Smart Lady Productions, and everything I do is smart. And I'm known as One Smart Lady.
See how much Willie brought to your life, and oh wow, that is just amazing.
Yeah,
and happy heavenly birthday to Willie.
Right. I haven't started posting, but I'll be posting today. My birthday wishes for him, but he's here. He's in my morning devotions. I started off good morning, Lord, and then thank you, gratitude, and then I say good morning, Willie, my love, my guardian angel, because I know he's here.
I love that. I love that. Any final words for our folks out there? For anybody who's watching, listening, Deborah is going to post any links that she has so that you can check out maybe her books, her page, and all that kind of stuff, and you can easily find her. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up our cup of coffee? I don't know about you. I'm almost empty.
Well, I just want to thank Carol Brown for putting my email address in the comments. You can reach out to me, and my site is onesmartladyproductions.com, and you can search One Smart Lady Productions and you'll find me. I'm all over the place.
That is amazing. And for the record, I know personally this woman is one smart lady, so listen to her.
Thank you, Regina.
So thanks, everybody. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, Regina, it has been a major force in how I've changed and morphed the business, and she is the one that brought me the Smart Phoenix method, rising method.
Awesome. Oh, Carolyn just posted out your website. So there you go. We'll throw that up on the screen as well. And thank you so much for that little shout out. I appreciate that. It's been such a pleasure knowing you, and I can't wait to see, what's to come. I mean, it's amazing. You are just one of the most amazing people that I've met that just lives and breathes, the walk, talk the talk. You are one of the most authentic people that I have ever met in my life. And I love how you go about what you do, and just anything you create becomes amazing. So I know the Phoenix Rising, I know everything, and all this new stuff that you're putting together is just going to go crazy and skyrocket because it's you, and that's the way things happen for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. So thank you everybody for joining us for a cup for coffee and a cup with purpose, as we have Deborah Smart here with us today. And stay tuned for future coffees with Regina to come. Deborah's will be up in the Facebook page, and you can watch the replay if you missed our live. So come and join us, and for a cup and a chat with purpose next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.